The night dripped with humidity. In a dimly lit warehouse outside Medellin, Pablo Escobar stood before crates of white powder wrapped tighter than military secrets. Señor Escobar, said the smuggler nervously, this shipment is enough to buy you a city. Pablo's lips curled into a grin. No, he said, lighting a cigarette.
No, it buys me a country.
Engines roared. A small Cessna lifted into the fog, carrying cocaine worth millions toward Miami. The cocaine highway was born. As the plane disappeared into the clouds, Pablo whispered,
Let the world breathe my dust.
Escobar's men used rubber bands worth more than most salaries. Helicopters thudded across the jungle. Trucks rolled through mountain passes, guarded by men in black uniforms with M16s, Los Sicarios, Escobar's death squad. In one scene, a convoy was ambushed. Gunfire tore the silence. Bullets chewed through metal. Blood splashed across dashboards. Escobar.com, in his bulletproof car, radioed his men.
Find the traitor. Bring me his head.
Escobar cleaned his money, entered politics, and promised a better Colombia. He shook hands, smiled for cameras, donated millions to the poor. The people called him Jobin Hut Paisa, but behind the smile was a blade. One senator whispered in private, You can't buy the government, Pablo, to which Escobar replied softly, Then I'll build my own. 2 days later, that senator's car exploded on the highway. In a smoky office in Bogota, Agent Steve Murphy dropped the file on the desk. Pablo Escobar, he said.
He's not a man. He's an industry.
D joined forces with the Colombian army. Helicopters sliced through the misty Andes. Jungle raids began. One night, under a blood-red moon, soldiers stormed a cocaine lab. Bullets rained, men fell, and flames devoured the jungle. But Escobar was already gone. All he left was a cigar burning in an ashtray and a note. Catch me if you can, gringos. Escobar built his fortress, Hacienda Naples, a paradise with hippos, race cars, and an airstrip for his planes. He watched his son swim in the pool as bodyguards patrolled the fences. The D called him the king of cocaine, but Pablo knew kings always fall. One night, he met with his inner circle. Las Pepes are killing our men, one warned. Pablo crushed his cigar. Then we killed theirs first. Within hours, Bogota became a war zone. Car bombs, machine guns, journalists assassinated. The streets burned while the world watched in horror. When the government cornered him, Escobar offered a deal. He'd surrender, but only to a prison of his own design. La Catedral wasn't a prison. It was a mansion with a soccer field, jacuzzi, and private bar. Pablo drank whiskey, played pool, and laughed at the law. But when he tortured 2 of his own men inside those walls, the government moved to transfer him. Helicopters surrounded the hill. Soldiers advanced. But by dawn, Escobar had vanished like smoke through cracks in concrete. The D and Colombian police formed Bloque de Buscada, the search block. Every phone tap, every informant, every shadow led closer to him. One by one, Escobar's allies were killed or captured. In one chilling scene, Escobar's convoy is ambushed in the jungle. Gunfire rips through trees. His men shout Atras. Pablo jumps into a river, clutching a pistol, his face bleeding. He hides under a bridge, soaked and trembling, whispering to himself.
I built an empire of dust, and now I'm breathing it.
December 2nd, 1993, Escobar hid in a safe house in Medellin with his loyal bodyguard, El Lehman. He called his son, his voice calm but tired. Me, hijo, whatever happens, remember, your father was a dreamer, Papa. Please, surrender. No, Pablo said. I'm already free. The call was traced. The police stormed the neighborhood rooftop to rooftop. Dot bullets cracked through the humid air. El Lehman was hit. Escobar fired back wildly, yelling, No me van a atrapar vivo. They won't take me alive. He ran to the rooftop, blood running down his arm. A single shot struck behind his ear. Silence. The most powerful drug lord in history lay dead on the red tiles of Medellin. The radio announced, Pablo Escobar, dead at 44. Crowds flooded the streets. Some cheered, some wept. For the poor, he was still their savior. For the world, he was a monster. Agent Pina stood watching the city skyline. "We didn't kill him," he said quietly. "He killed himself chasing power." The camera pulls back. The rooftops of Medellin stretch endlessly, each one a reminder of the empire built on blood. Years later, Escobar's hippos still roam the jungles of Colombia, the last living witnesses of his kingdom. Tourists visit the ruins of Hacienda Naples. Old locals still whisper his name like a ghost that never left. Pablo Escobar, one man says, staring into the jungle. The man who wanted to own the world and ended up owning his grave. The wind rustles the leaves. A helicopter fades in the distance. The world moves on.
The legend never dies.